Hello students, a very good morning to all. Myself Sadhna Sorose. In previous lecture we have discussed about new syllabus, new paper pattern, changed practical exam pattern, and then we have started with our first chapter, that is rotational dynamics. In that we have studied circular motion, kinematics of circular motion. Also we have studied angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. Then we have discussed about uniform and non-uniform circular motion. We have studied centripetal acceleration and we have solved some numericals also. Now we will move forward. If angular acceleration alpha is constant and it is directed along the axis of rotation, then the angular displacement theta and angular velocity omega both are directed along the axis of rotation, and that will be shown by right hand thumb rule, which we have already studied in first lecture. So according to that, there will be three kinematical equations for translational motion, that is linear motion, as well as for rotational motion. So for translational motion, the average velocity is nothing but u plus v upon 2. Here u is initial velocity, v is the final velocity. And whereas for rotational motion, we have to consider angular velocity. So the average angular velocity is nothing but omega plus omega 0 upon 2. Where here the omega is final angular velocity, omega 0 is the initial angular velocity. So also we know that acceleration is rate of change of velocity. So here change in velocity is represented by v minus u, final minus initial. According to that, you will get the first kinematical equation for translational motion as v is equals to u plus at. Similarly, the angular acceleration is nothing but rate of change of angular velocity. That is final angular velocity minus initial angular velocity. And according to that, you will get the first kinematical equation for rotational motion as omega is equals to omega 0 plus alpha t. For second kinematical equation, we know that velocity is distance upon time. So distance is velocity into time. So we have substituted here average velocity, that is u plus v upon 2, and we have simplified it. Here v, instead of v, we have to use first kinematical equation, that is u plus at. And by solving this, we will get the second kinematical equation for translational motion as s is equal to ut plus half at square. Here in rotational motion, the angular displacement is nothing but angular velocity into time. So it is omega plus omega 0 upon 2, average angular velocity. Again here we have to substitute the first kinematical equation instead of omega, that is omega 0 plus alpha t. By simplifying this, we will get the second kinematical equation for rotational motion as a theta equals to omega 0 t plus half alpha t square. Again we will start with the same equation of displacement, that is velocity into time. Here now we have to substitute first kinematical equation for time, that is v minus u upon a. By simplifying this, we will get the third kinematical equation, that is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Whereas for rotational motion, again we will start with the same equation, that is angular velocity is rate of change of angular displacement, theta upon t. So theta is omega into t. Again here we will substitute the first kinematical equation of rotational motion instead of t. And by simplifying this, we will get the third kinematical equation for rotational motion as omega square is equal to omega 0 square plus 2 alpha theta. Now we will start with the next topic, that is dynamics of circular motion. The dynamics of circular motion are nothing but centripetal force and centrifugal force. What is centripetal force? The force which is directed towards the center of circle. See, we know that centripetal acceleration, it is also directed towards the center. So the force which is responsible for centripetal acceleration is nothing but centripetal force. Then centrifugal force is nothing but what? It is directed away from center of circle. See, we know that the centripetal force, as it is directed towards the center, that means it is opposite to that of radius vector. Whereas in centrifugal force, it is directed away from center of circle, so it is directed along the radius vector. Radius vector definition we have discussed in first lecture. Now centripetal force, it is a real force. Centrifugal force, it is a non-real. It is not a imaginary or it is not a pseudo force. It is a non-real force because actually it is a exist. So the equation for centripetal force, as it is opposite to that of radius vector, here we have mentioned minus. So according to Newton's second law, we know that F is equals to ma. A is the acceleration. So here we have considered centripetal acceleration. And the centripetal acceleration formula for centripetal acceleration already we have discussed in first lecture, that is r omega square, or it is v square upon r. So as it is directed opposite, so here it is minus. The equation for centrifugal force, it is again same, but the direction is opposite. It is directed along the radius vector, so that's why here it is plus sign. It means both are along the same direction. Example for centripetal forces, for example, farmer string. When an object it is tied to the one end of string and it is whirled in a horizontal circle, the necessary centripetal force is required for maintaining circular motion. So here the tension in the string, it will provide that centripetal force which is required for maintaining what? Circular motion. In centrifugal force, for example, it is a bucket full of water, it is rotating in vertical circle at a particular speed so that the water does not fall. So this is because the weight of water is balanced by whom? Centrifugal force which is acting on it. Here I have given both the examples in animation form. Here you will find out that the object which is attached to that string, it maintains circular motion only because of what? Tension in that string. When you cut that rope at a certain instant, the tension in the string will vanish and that object will continue in a tangential path, right? It will not maintain that circular path. Here you will observe in this animation the centrifugal force. Example is given for that bucket full of water, it is in there and it is whirled in a vertical circle, the water does not spills out. What is the reason behind that? It is nothing but the centrifugal force, it is get balanced due to the weight of that water. Okay, we know that the gravitational force, it is always in downward direction and the centrifugal force is in upward direction, so both are get balanced, so due to that the water does not spills out. Now the next topic, it is applications of uniform circular motion. The first application, it is vehicle on a horizontal road. Consider that block I have shown over here. You can consider any vehicle. So we have to consider what are the forces acting on that block, or you can say vehicle. Then you can say, see, this is a free body diagram to understand what are the forces acting on that block. The first force which is acting on every body on the earth, that is gravitational force, which is always in downward direction, that is mg. And it gets balanced due to what? Normal reaction force, which is in upward direction. What is normal? Normal, it means perpendicular, which exists or which acts always in perpendicular direction to that surface. Okay, so here we say that this gravitational force or weight, it gets balanced due to normal reaction, so n is equal to mg. Now the another force, that is frictional force, which is exist between the tire and the road surface. Now the direction of that frictional force, that is towards the center. Here C is the center. So towards the center there is only one force, that is what? Centripetal force. So we say that this force of static friction, it provides necessary centripetal force. So here Fs is mr omega square. This is the equation for what? Centripetal force, or it is mv square upon r. Now we will divide equation 2 by 1. You will get Fs upon n is nothing but r omega square upon g is equals to v square upon rj. Now we know that for a given circular track, the radius r is constant. So we say that mg is equals to n, and that is also constant. Now suppose small m be the mass of that car and it is moving with speed v along curved road of radius r. So as the velocity increases, the static friction also increases. So that maximum static friction is nothing but mu s into n, where mu s is the coefficient of static friction between road surface and tire of vehicle. at the maximum possible speed Vmax, we say that Fx max upon n. We have replaced this term. That is nothing but mu s. And here mu s is Vmax square upon Rg. So from this you will get Vmax is under root mu s Rg. This Vmax is what? Maximum speed of vehicle, or you can say maximum safety speed of vehicle along a horizontal road, or you can say curved horizontal road. The next second application of circular motion, it is wall of death. मौत का कुआं बोलते हो, right? So I have shown a picture over here, that is wall of death. So what is the actual over there? In that wall of death, here this circle will represent what? That motion of that vehicle along this circle, and this diagram will represent a free body diagram. Which are the forces acting on that vehicle? First force is normal reaction towards the center. Here you will find. Then static friction, it is acting vertically upward. Friction in between vertical wall and the tire of that vehicle. And it gets balanced due to what? Gravitational force, mg. Okay. Now as this normal reaction, it is directed towards the center, that means it provides necessary centripetal force. So n is mv square upon r, that is mr omega square. And we say that Fs is mg. Now the force of static friction is always less than or equal to mu s into n. So Fs is less than or equal to mu s into n. Now Fs is nothing but mg. So mg is less than or equal to mu s. And we have substituted the value of n over here. So by simplifying this, you will get finally Vmax is under root Rg upon mu s. This is what? Maximum safety speed of vehicle in a wall of death. Okay. Means the vehicle should not exceed a limit of speed beyond this. Okay. The third application, it is banked road. Vehicle on a banked road. What is banked road? What is the banking of road? See, the process of raising outer edge of road over its inner edge through certain angle. Here you will find that car are taking a turn. So if you find this road surface, the outer surface will be at some height as compared to this horizontal surface. So the raising of this outer surface through certain angle over this inner surface, this process is nothing but what? Banking of road. Now what is the purpose of this banking of road? Will it necessary? Yes. So to provide necessary centripetal force for circular motion. See, for taking a safe circular turn, the centripetal force is required. And this banking of road, it will provide that necessary centripetal force. Okay. The second thing is to reduce the wear and tear of tires due to what? Friction. We know that there is always friction between tire and the road surface. To remove or to avoid that friction, the banking of road is necessary. Also to avoid skidding, right? So to avoid this skidding, the banking of road is necessary. And the last purpose is to avoid overturning of vehicle. Overturning, that means while taking turn, you know that the vehicle will be turned like this. So in this way, the vehicle will be moving outward direction. So to take safer turn, that centripetal force is required, and that will be provided by this banking of road. Okay. The next point, what is the angle of banking? See, the angle made by surface of road. See, this is the surface of road and this is the horizontal surface. The angle between these two, it is nothing but angle of banking. The next point, here is, I have shown some image that car is moving along this circumference or along this curved road, or you will find that here, you can say this is a free body diagram, so that we can understand what are the forces acting on that car when it is taking a turn in a circular track. One is the gravitational force, that is equal to weight of that car, which gets balanced due to normal reaction force, which is always perpendicular to the surface of car. And the net frictional force, it is always towards the center of that circular track. That is what? It provides necessary centripetal force. Okay. Now the maximum speed of vehicle on a banked road with friction. Consider the vehicle which is moving along curved road. We have taken over a vehicle whose mass is m. It is taking a curve at that curve road whose radius is r. Angle of banking is theta, and F is the frictional force between that tire and the road surface. So the forces which are acting on that vehicle will be weight mg, normal reaction n, and the frictional force between the tire and road surface. Now here we have to resolve the force normal reaction and the frictional force into two components. You have studied resolution of vector in 11th standard, right? So here we have resolved the normal reaction component into two component, that is n cos theta vertical component, n sin theta is the horizontal component. Okay. Also the frictional force we have resolved into two component. F cos theta is the horizontal component, F sin theta is the vertical component. Now according to that, if you observe over here n cos theta, it gets balanced due to this two forces, combine the two forces. So we say that the n cos theta must be equal to mg plus f sin theta. Okay, so mg is equal to what? We will get n cos theta minus f sin theta. This is the equation 1. Again, if you see this n sin theta and f cos theta, both are directed towards the center. So we say that this both the component will provide necessary centripetal force. So n sin theta must be plus f cos theta gives us mv square upon r. So mv square upon r is nothing but n sin theta plus f cos theta. Equation number 2. Now while dividing equation 2 by 1, you will get that v square upon rg is equal to n sin theta plus f cos theta upon n cos theta minus f sin theta. Now while considering maximum speed of vehicle, we have to consider the frictional force. So in that case, your frictional force must be equal to what? Mu s into n. So replace the term v by v max. So v max square upon rg must be equal to what? N sin theta plus. Now f must be replaced by fm. So fm cos theta upon n cos theta minus fm sin theta. But fm is what? Mu s into n. So V max square upon Rg n sin theta plus, now here we will substitute the value of Fm over here and divide the numerator as well as denominator of RHS by n cos theta. So while substituting all this and cancel out the same term, finally you will get V max square upon Rg is equal to tan theta plus mu s upon 1 minus mu s tan theta. Okay. Now V max square is equal to Rg in bracket tan theta plus mu s upon 1 minus mu s tan theta. So V max is finally it is equal to under root Rg tan theta plus mu s upon 1 minus mu s tan theta. This is the maximum safety speed of vehicle on a banked road with friction. As we are considering here mu s term is there, that means friction should be there because mu s is what? Coefficient of friction. Okay. Now if we consider that the road surface is smooth, so for smooth road surface, this coefficient of friction must be 0, right? So we will substitute that 0 over here. We will get that V max must be equal to root Rg tan theta. And this is what? The maximum safety speed of vehicle on a banked road but without friction. Banked road, while considering theta, this tan theta is represent what? Banking of road. Theta, this angle shows that the road is banked. Okay. So over here also there is a Rg tan theta. So this is also a banked road. Only here will be the friction. Here is the friction is 0. Okay. Now V max must be equal to root Rg tan theta. So V max square is root Rg tan theta. So here we have to find what? Expression for angle of banking. That means for theta we have to find expression. So theta equals to what? You will get tan inverse V max square upon Rg. Now while considering this equation, you will find that the mass of vehicle, that is m term, is absent over here, right? So as this expression does not contain the mass of vehicle, we say that the angle of banking is what? Independent of mass of vehicle. Okay. So this is what your MCQ question is over here. The angle of banking is independent, right? Keep in mind, it is independent of what? Mass of vehicle. The last application is nothing but conical pendulum. So what is conical pendulum? A conical pendulum is nothing but what? It is a simple pendulum which is given such a motion so that bob describes a horizontal circle and string describes a what? Cone. Here we have attached a bob to the string and it is whirled in a circle. So you will find that string it will describes a cone like structure and that bob it describes a horizontal circle. Okay, again you will find over here horizontal circle and the string describes a cone like structure. Now here we have to find what? Time period of that conical pendulum. Okay, so consider the bob whose mass is m. It is revolving in a horizontal circle whose radius is smaller. Let v be the linear velocity of that bob. H is the height of that cone. Capital T. Now when it is whirled in a circle, it must contain tension in the string. So capital T is tension. And theta is the semi-vertical angle of that cone. Small g is the acceleration due to gravity. And L is the what? Length of that string. So the forces which are acting on that bob, here we have to find at extreme position. When the bob is at extreme position, we have to consider or we have to consider which are the forces acting on that bob. So first is the weight of that bob which is acting in downward direction, and the another one it is the tension in this bob but it is along the string in this direction. See over here this arrow, here it is T. Okay, so again we have to resolve this tension into two components. The one component is T cos theta which is a vertically upward component which is balanced by whom? Mg. So T cos theta equal to mg. And the another one it is T sin theta which is directed towards the center. So it provides necessary centripetal force. So it is mv square upon r. Now again here divide equation 2 by 1. You will get tan theta equals to v square upon rg. Here must be small t. Okay. Make a correction. So v is equals to what? Root rg tan theta. So this equation gives us what? Speed, but linear speed of that bob, right? Now we have to find what? Angular speed, that is angular velocity. How you can find angular velocity? You have this relation v is equal to r omega. So substitute over here. So r omega is equal to root rg tan theta. Now squaring on both sides, you will get r square omega square is equal to rg tan theta. So from diagram we say that tan theta is nothing but r upon h. Substitute the value of tan theta over here and simplify. You will get omega square is g upon h. So omega is under root g upon h. This is what? Angular speed of conical pendulum. आपको ऐसे भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा. Derive an expression for angular speed of conical pendulum. Okay. Now we have to find what? Period or periodic time of conical pendulum. So period is nothing but we know that velocity is distance upon time. So time is distance upon velocity. Now in one complete rotation, the distance traveled by that bob is nothing but circumference. So it is 2 pi r. So it is t equal to 2 pi r upon v. But v is nothing but root rg tan theta. Substitute the value of v over here. So t equals to 2 pi r upon root rg tan theta. Now solving this and substituting sin theta equal to r upon L. What we get? Solving it means we have to substitute sin theta upon cos theta. Right? So sin theta must be r upon L. Cos theta, it will be here. So finally you will get t equals to 2 pi root L cos theta upon g. This is what? Period of conical pendulum, or you can say periodic time of conical pendulum. Okay. Now from this factor, now the cos theta is nothing but again from figure we say that cos theta is h upon L. And if you substitute that h upon L, you will get t equals to 2 pi root h upon g. Now if you consider this expression, so and if you ask that period of conical pendulum, it depends on which factors. So according to this expression, we say that it depends on length of string, angle theta, right? Angle of inclination and acceleration due to gravity, right? Here this expression, if you see here, you will find that there is only two terms, that is 2 pi, it is constant. So only two terms are there, that is h and g. So h is what? Height of cone, and g is what? Acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So the last topic, that is, what are the factors affecting on the time period of conical pendulum. So the period of conical pendulum, it depends on first factor, that is length of that pendulum, small l, then angle of inclination, that is theta, acceleration due to gravity, small g, time period, it is independent of, it is important thing, mass of that ball. Here you will find in each expression the term m is absent, alright. So as the mass m or term m is absent over here, we say that it is independent of what? Mass of that ball. Okay. Now the frequency, as you have got the time period, frequency, it is easy, that is reciprocal of period. Okay. So by taking reciprocal, you will get 1 upon 2 pi root g upon L cos theta. Okay. So this is what? Frequency of revolution of that conical pendulum. See, in non-inertial frame of reference, I have shown something here. That means there will be some another force also, that is centrifugal force, which is directed away from the center. And the magnitude of that centrifugal force is given mr omega square. So in non-inertial frame of reference, the centrifugal force should balance the resultant force of all real forces. So here if you find, you will find that this t sine theta component, it is towards the center, and it gets balanced due to what? Centrifugal force. It means what? There must be centrifugal forces also acting on that conical pendulum. Centripetal force is also there, centrifugal force is also there. But who will provide that centripetal force? T sine theta component, it provides centripetal force. And it gets balanced with what? Centrifugal force. But the centrifugal force, it is less in magnitude. So that's why that bob, it describes that as a horizontal circle. If what happens, if the centrifugal force will be more, so that bob will not continue to move in a horizontal circle, and it will move in tangential direction, right? So here this we say that in non-inertial frame of reference, this component t sine theta, it balances that centrifugal force, and this t sine theta component, it provides the required necessary centripetal force, so that the bob will describe that horizontal circle. Okay. Now I have given some question over here. In previous lecture, I have given some numericals to you. In next lecture, whatever today we have discussed, we will solve the example based on that. But before that, the theory part will be okay. That means you should be clear with your theory. So here I have given some exercise to you. Just go through it, write the answers, learn that questions, try to derive that expressions which I have given. There may be some correction in that PPT. So first question is that define centripetal force. Already I have given definition, and you have to write 4 examples. One example I have given. The second is centrifugal force. You have to define and write examples, 4 examples. Safety is maximum safety speed of vehicle which is moving along curved horizontal road. That is Vmax under root mu Rg. Then what is the banking of road? Why it is necessary? Already I have told you, and it is mentioned in this lecture. Show that the angle of banking is independent of mass of vehicle. That will be also we have learned. Define period of conical pendulum. Now see, definition, it is very easy, very simple. Period of conical pendulum. Period is nothing but what? You have already studied the definition in previous lecture. Time period, that definition will remain for all the things. Period is what? The time taken by the pendulum to complete one revolution or one oscillation is called as what? Period, right? So the you have to define the period as well as you have to obtain its expression. And the last question is, what are the factors affecting, or on which factors the period of conical pendulum it depends? Okay, so all the best and thank you.